Got to tell you, the prospects of back-to-back Super Bowls in what's considered cold weather climates seems rather unlikely. Look for a better shot in perhaps 2013 or 2014. Now, our live team coverage continues now. Erica Fly is live outside Lucas Oil Stadium with reaction from the mayor. Erica? And for his part, President Bush did not leave empty-handed. The team presented him with a Colts Bush 43 jersey and his own cowboy hat. So quite a capper for this Colts Super Bowl championship tour. Martha?
That speech, as you said, wrapped up just a couple of minutes ago. I'll show you video of the vice president as his plane, Air Force Two, touched down.
Martha, it has been a long fight here in Hamilton County. We're in Fishers here. You can see the roads for the most part are passable, but the wind is really blowing out here.
Quite a tour we are getting from 600 feet up or so. Let me tell you, the digging was uphill for many people. So was the pushing of many cars. That gentleman here got bested by the snow, but in true Hoosier spirit, he got back up and dusted himself off.
You can see the pro list is a little longer than the con list, and certainly longer than it is for Dallas. So that is a good thing. City leaders in Indianapolis have come here to really promote all of the pros on that list. And up till now, they've been keeping everything close to the vest, except for one very important piece of the puzzle revealed today. 5 days after he lost his life in an accident of tragic timing, his family said goodbye here in the Shelbyville High School gymnasium. Both his own family and his brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Now, a task force of the State Fire Marshal's Office, ATF, and local investigators will tackle the official cause of this fire in the days ahead. In the meantime, neighbors are still feeling the effect of this devastating fire. We get more on that from Julie Persley, who has that part of our team coverage. It is a fact of political life. When one family member serves, they all serve in one way or another. And for Indiana's new representatives, it's something they began to realize as soon as they hit the campaign trail. When Baron Hill went back to the Hill to again represent Indiana's 9th District, he took his wife Betty, a 6th grade teacher in Seymour, at least for the swearing in. The rest of the session, they're apart.
When he was in before, he came home every weekend. Doing district work and family work, and you know, we're a strong family.
A family with 3 grown daughters, one of whom didn't fall far from the political tree. Jenny Hill works for the Democratic Party in Indiana.
It's a little surreal, just because my day-to-day job is to help people get elected like him, but not only him, but it's just an exciting feeling.
And when you count the support behind a congressman, none means more than that of those who helped get you there. The representative from Indiana's 2nd District has that from his mom, who came to Washington for her son, Joe.
He's a man of great integrity. He's a person who, when he gives you his word, lives up to it. And I just expect that Joe is going to continue to do what he's done in his life, and that is the best he can do.
It's kind of nice to hear from your mom, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Poor Brad Ellsworth's wife and daughter, being without him is something they learned how to deal with long ago.
He's always had an odd-houred job, and he was on call all the time as the sheriff, so he just part of the way our lives functioned all along.
So clearly a big day here in Washington. And now, so far, you've heard only from the Democrats, the majority here today. But coming up, you will hear from the Republican member of this Hoosier delegation and what he thinks about this 110th Congress. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, I'm Ray Cortopassi, live in Washington for 6 News. Whitney Stump is his name. He bought his house in Muncie 2 years ago. From the window of his front door, he's watched his cars blew through the stop sign at his corner at Dix and North Streets.
I called the street and sign department probably a half dozen times in the course of 6 months, a year.
When nobody listened, the 27-year-old Ball State grad student and father took matters into his own hands. And now, there is a crosswalk. The street department didn't paint this.
No. I used spray paint on the outline, and then I went to Walmart where they had a sale on Killian's white paint and
rolled it out?
And rolled it out, yeah. Having a visual signal on the ground is a cue for vehicles to slow down.
As Stump put it, he became a guerrilla city worker.
And if they're not going to provide a safe environment for me and my community, then I believe that I have a moral obligation.
To many on the street, Stump has become something of a folk hero.
You don't think he was defacing property?
Heavens for Betsy's, no. I told him to do the other 3.
So it needed a crosswalk, you think?
Oh, yeah, I did.
But Muncie PD didn't see it that way. Stump was arrested once for criminal mischief and then a second time and spent 10 hours in jail when he went back to touch it up.
Well, you probably can't do that to public property owned by the city. Yeah, you still got to go through proper channels. I mean, he's making a good statement, but I mean, they're probably going to cover it up, aren't they?
They haven't yet.
Well, I mean, if they don't cover it up, then I guess he got what he wanted.
Stump has already paid the fine on the first charge, but he'll have to be in court on the second. That happens next month. Still, having gone through the criminal process, he says he's still determined to get back to that intersection and paint the other 3 crosswalks. In Muncie, Ray Cortopassi, 6 News.
Young Trooper Nate Rainey and Fonda Griffith survey the damage to her Jeep Cherokee, now mangled and disabled. 14 hours earlier, she was in it, upside down, underwater, and screaming for help.
When I was going down the hill, I thought I was going to die.
The pair were on their way home from Bible study. Rainey off duty in his patrol car, his 20-year-old girlfriend behind him on a county road off State Road 3 in Newcastle. Suddenly, he noticed she vanished from his mirror.
Last time I saw her, she was right on my bumper.
Rainey pulled over and waited, then doubled back.
A couple seconds later, my phone rang, she was screaming. So I turned around, drove back, and called our dispatcher and told him that she'd been in a wreck.
Rainey couldn't find her at first. While searching, passing motorists spotted the Jeep in the creek and directed him toward her. Rainey then jumped into action, trying unsuccessfully at first to break the driver's side window.
When I got down there and started kicking the window, she quit screaming. So it made me a little nervous. I went to the back window and, just kind of praying to God.
Finally, after 2 attempts, Rainey made his way and cut her out of the seatbelt.
It was about 7 minutes from the time Fonda went off the road and here into the icy waters before Trooper Rainey could get through the back window to her hanging upside down. 7 minutes. But to Fonda, it felt a heck of a lot longer.
I tried to roll down my window, and it wouldn't roll down. I tried to undo my seatbelt, but it wouldn't release.
It's 26 degrees last night when they called me last night to let me know that this had happened, and the wind was really howling out here like it is now. That water had to be pretty cold.
Well, we both got pretty soaked, obviously. It was water. I was trying to keep my head and chest out of the water.
Both suffered mild hypothermia, Fonda some cuts and bruises. Just 2 months into their relationship, the two have now formed a lifelong bond thanks to a life-threatening situation. In Henry County, Ray Cortopassi, 6 News.
It happened just before dawn yesterday here in Covington. The house is just a burned-out shell now, but the last time Jessica Pippin saw it over her shoulder, clutching her young son, it was swallowed by flames.
I didn't even notice that I was burnt or anything until I got in the car. The ones on my feet was because the carpet was on fire.
Her burns are head to toe. Necessary wounds that meant the difference between life and death.
If I would have woke up 30 seconds later, I would have, I might not have been able to make it to his room. It's just a blessing, really.
All at once, the flames were intense, from the floor to the ceiling. 21-year-old Jessica Pippin was sleeping, her 20-month-old son Aiden in the crib in his room. Jessica grabbed the toddler and raced to a window but fell. Aiden, though, was protected by her arms, which were burned in the fall.
I had him all wrapped up in his blanket, and some of his blanket was actually melted to my pants.
Jessica managed to get Aiden to a friend who'd been sleeping in another room. She got out through the window first. 20-year-old Race Carr then jumped out, holding the child.
Within probably 1 minute after I got out of the house, Aiden's room flames were just pouring out of his bedroom.
The home is a loss. A dog and cat perished, but Jessica and her family can't help but think that someone was watching over them.
The little angel that was on her shoulder at that time, something was helping her out. That's all I can come up with.
Fire investigators still aren't sure of the cause yet. The fire marshal's office is investigating. Jessica's told she may be able to go home in a few days. In Covington, Ray Cortopassi, 6 News.